I'm gonna try not to eat all these. I'm gonna try not to. Last one, I swear. Greedy wife realizes she can't just murder her husband.
On May 30th, 1997, Barbara Holder called the police, claiming that she had just found her husband's body lying on the kitchen floor. When the police arrived on scene, they noticed that the home had been ransacked, as if someone had been searching for valuable items. The naked body of Barbara's husband, Curtis Holder, was exactly where Barbara had told the police it would be. However, his ring finger had been removed and was located several feet from the body. Curtis had been stabbed 93 times, and he also had blunt force trauma to the head.
93?
At first glance, the police believed it could be a burglary gone wrong, because several homes in the area had been broken into. But
getting stabbed 93 times is diabolical. They should have automatically knew that it was the wife. There shouldn't be no questions. She didn't sit there and watch somebody stab her husband 93 times. She didn't. I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of panic you in. You're going to run. You're going to get away. You're not going to just sit there and watch your husband get stabbed 93 times. So in your mind, you should just know she guilty. She guilty.
The closer they looked at the crime scene, the more they realized this was a planned murder. The break-in appeared staged, as only a few of the valuable items in the home were missing. Also, an autopsy report showed that Curtis had been stabbed continuously even after he died. The police were starting to think that it could have been a crime of passion, but they didn't have enough evidence to show that Barbara was involved.
Barbara, I'm Sergeant Ratliff. I've talked to you several times already. This is Detective Dupree. And you're telling who you are.
Barbara.
Barbara what?
Barbara Holder.
Okay. Today is, you know what day it is?
I think it's June 2nd.
June the 2nd, that is correct. It's approximately 3:25 p.m., okay?
Okay.
I'm going to read you your rights again, because you know I've already read them to you before. I'm going to make sure you understand them, okay? Knowing that you understand your rights, and since we've been talking before, would it be true that you're wanting to talk to us now?
Why I keep glitching like that? This old school camcorder. I don't like that. Keep glitching.
First I want to know why I'm under arrest. Nobody's ever told me
Well, Barbara,
that at all. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
the reason why you're under arrest is because you made a false report to the police department.
What did I do that was false?
Well,
I know what you did.
you reported to us that there were items that were stolen from your house when this homicide took place.
Right.
Did you not?
Yes, I
Do you
did.
remember what those items were?
The VCR, the Sega, the
Dang.
wrestling machine, the telephone on it, the remote control, the remote telephone. And I think that's all.
The police finally caught a break in the case. Barbara's neighbor had called them because she was watching Barbara's daughter. She told the police that she received multiple calls from Barbara, asking if she could continue watching her daughter while she was being interrogated. The police confirmed that Barbara was not being interviewed, so the neighbor checked her caller ID. The number was from a local hotel. The police decided to see what Barbara was doing, so they went to the hotel and knocked on the room Barbara was in. Barbara and a man named Mark Dixon stepped out of the room. Barbara tried to explain that she had just met Mark at a bar, but when the police searched the room, they would both be put in handcuffs.
Okay, well, Barbara, you know that last night, where did we find you last night?
At the hotel with Mark.
And you know that once we took you out, at that point in time, we ended up getting a search warrant for that apartment. And you know what we found, don't you?
No, I don't know what you found.
How do you not know what we found?
Because I don't know what was in that apartment.
You were there?
Hotel.
I know, hotel room. I was there, but I was only there for a little while, and most of the time I was asleep.
Well, the items that you say were stolen during the time that he was murdered were found in your motel room.
It was not my motel room.
In the motel room that you were in.
And if they were in there, I never saw them in there.
How could you not?
Well,
The motel room's very small.
It was very small. All I did, I went to the bedroom, to the bed. I laid down on the bed. Mark told me,
Man, little freaky girl. Ain't your husband dead? Didn't he just die? You already in a hotel room with another nigga. Yeah, you been cheating this whole time. She said she went straight to the bed. She knew what time it was. Mr. Nasty Time.
me to have a beer. He gave me 3 pills. I took 2 of them. I put 1 of them in my purse.
3
How long had you
pills?
been
I got there and I took him, or he drove. He needed to get something to eat, so he went over to Subway and they were closed. And then he went to Jack in the Box and to Sonny's.
there? How long had you been staying in that motel room?
I'd been asleep for about 4 hours, I know, because I called about 10 o'clock to check on Leslie, and then when I woke up it was about 1 and I called again.
So when you went in that motel room, what did you take with you?
My purse, and then I had the gray bag, like a carry-on luggage bag from the hotel.
And what else?
What was in that bag?
All was in that bag was all the knives from the house, so that was in that butcher block set.
Why did you take those?
Because I wanted them out of the house. I wanted the butcher block and that set. The butcher block thing itself is in the van.
So you take them with you?
Mark told me that he would get rid of mine. He called and I told him that I wanted to get, because I knew that was one of the knives was missing, that was one of the knives that had
Sure.
been used on Curtis. That's what he told me.
No, we didn't tell you that.
Well, you told me that that was the knife that was missing out of the house.
No,
And
you
then-
told us that there was a knife that was missing out
You
of the
know,
house.
you told me, you made me put all the knives
Uh-huh.
back.
And
I
when
said
you
that
put 'em
knife
back, you said
was
that
gone,
knife's
was gone.
That's
That
right.
knife was
You told
missing.
us that. We didn't tell you
Well, you told me
And
that
we
there
didn't
was
tell
a
you-
knife missing out of
We
the set.
asked you to knife from this.
And there was a knife missing out of the
that. And we
set.
didn't tell you that it was used on Curtis.
Well, you told me you'd been stabbed.
Okay.
Well, that kind of goes to reason that if there was a knife missing out of the kitchen set,
Okay.
and he had been
That's the
stabbed,
conclusion that you drew.
Let's back up here.
that's,
Dig yourself in the hole, shorty. You're snitching on yourself. You done dug yourself in a hole. You need a ladder to get out.
First
that
off,
was what he was stabbed
okay,
with.
time out, Barbara. Listen to me very closely. You need to understand, this is a very serious situation that you got yourself into. We know everything that is taking place.
Well, then tell me.
You know.
You know, we need.
We've already talked to Mark, and Mark has told us everything that is taking place between y'all, with Curtis, with everything. Now, he has already covered all that stuff. Now, you're hanging out there on the limb, and it's up to you on whether you want to sit there and get this stuff straight. But you're in a bad situation right now. I know pretty much everything there is to know about what took place here, and I know you've been lying to me. Oh, don't tell me you haven't, because I know better. I can prove it.
You can prove it because the stuff was in the motel room last
There's a
night.
whole lot more.
There's a whole lot more than that.
Prior to this interrogation, Mark had been interviewed and he explained what had happened. Barbara and Mark had met while they were both in a mental hospital a few weeks before the murder. Barbara told Mark that her husband had a $600,000 life insurance policy, and if he was to kill him, she would give him $50,000 and they could be together. After they were both released from
How much?
and they could be together.
Hold up. How much?
Mark had been interviewed and he explained what had happened. Barbara and Mark had met while they were both in a mental hospital a few weeks before the murder. Barbara told Mark that her husband had a $600,000 life insurance policy, and if he was to kill him, she would give him $50,000 and they could be together. After they were
He killed this nigga for $50,000. $50,000. She getting $600,000, and all this nigga wanted was $50,000 and her. Shorty, you ain't worth it. You are not worth it. I don't get it. If you'll lose a woman the same way you met her. You'll lose her the same way you met her. Bro, she want to kill her husband. What make you think later on down the road she wouldn't want to kill you? $50,000. What's she gonna do with the rest of that money? She ain't worth that, bro. Trust me, she ain't worth it.
They were both released from the hospital. Mark hired 16-year-old Johnny Lopez to assist him with the murder.
Oh, wow. Oh,
But that's a good place
wow.
to start. You might as well come clean with that. You told
I
us that
didn't
stuff.
see any of that stuff in that motel room last night. I did not see any of those items in that motel room last night.
Let's back up.
What all property did you have in that hotel room?
All the property that I had in that hotel room was that gray bag I brought in my purse. That's all I had.
What was in your
there.
purse?
My wallet. There wasn't much in my purse at all, really. My wallet, probably my red makeup bag,
Then
my keys.
how did all your clothes get in there in the dresser drawers?
I didn't have any clothes in there.
Oh yeah, you did.
We got them.
We got it. Oh yeah, you did. You had clothes in there. You had other items in there that had your name on it.
Like
They were
what?
sitting out in plain view. Everything that you said was stolen was in there,
I didn't see.
packed in your stuff. We already know everything
Well, if it
there
was
is to
taken
know.
from my house, wouldn't it have been packed in something in my house?
Let me ask you this simple question. Why in the world were you found in a hotel room with property that was stolen supposedly in a burglary from your house when your husband was killed?
I
Can
didn't
you just answer
know.
that
I
simple
did not
question?
know that the stuff was in there.
Why?
It
If Mark burgled,
You sound so stupid. You sound dumb. I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, in the early 90s, 80s, even the 70s, if you got caught doing something bad, you low-key deserved it. And you was probably a bad liar. You were bad at whatever you was doing if you got caught back in those days. Because back then, cameras were not a thing. Cameras weren't a thing. It wasn't security camera like that. Yeah, it was like some buildings had security cameras, but majority of the time, it was just word of mouth. You was gonna get caught by word of mouth, and then the police interrogate you, and you fold. You fold unless it was a witness to something. But stuff like this, you're dumb. You got caught. You can't do that today. You can't do that today because literally everywhere you go is cameras. It's cameras everywhere you go. Even the places you don't even think about, it's cameras. Getting caught back then, you had to be an idiot, and you deserve to get caught.
at the house, I did not know Mark burglarized.
Yeah, right. Now you sit there, you've had relations with the guy, you told him that you were in love with him, you've been intimate with him, you've done everything with him, you even led him up to the point to try to kill Curtis for you. And you sit there and did all this stuff, and now you're hanging his butt out to dry.
I did not do that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did
Yeah, you
not.
did.
No, I did not.
Now listen to me. I've already told you. Now, Barbara, I've talked to you throughout this entire time. I know what happened.
He gave us every detail.
Everything to corroborate your involvement in this deal.
And his own involvement. Why would he confess to something just to get you? He hung himself out and he hung you out.
Why would you be with a man right after your husband's
I was
killed?
not with a man. I told you all that last night. I had no sexual
I can
relations
take
with
you
him at
back.
all.
I can take you back 3 weeks ago when you were in the hospital and track you through time.
First thing we saw on the TV walking in there was a package of condoms.
Well, you may have seen the packages of condoms, but did you see any
Let
of
me
them
ask you
used?
something. You lied to me about the stuff that was in the van too.
You're a raw dog
I
now.
told you, I asked you that Super 8 motel cup, you said that's when we go on vacation. That's bullshit because I got records saying that you've checked into these hotels recently.
Including the day before the murder.
Your story's breaking down terribly.
Dang.
On the day of the murder, Barbara let Mark and Johnny into her home, where they staged a burglary and waited for Curtis to arrive. Barbara greeted her husband as he walked in the door, and while Curtis was distracted, Mark attacked him with a large wrench. Mark claimed that Barbara grabbed the wrench from him and began using it on her husband, while Johnny used the knife. Barbara then dropped the wrench, took the knife from Johnny, and used it on her husband as well. She then removed her husband's clothing, telling the others that it was because she wanted him to be humiliated.
No.
You sit there and called somebody and said that you were being interrogated by the police on Sunday evening when we weren't interrogating you. You didn't call from the police department, you called from another location. Then you called a few hours later and you told them, well, it's going to be a few more hours, and you called from the Quality Inn Motel.
That's right.
You lied, and you hung your daughter out there, and now you're sitting
I did
here.
not hang my daughter out there. She was well taken care of.
Ain't she?
Yes.
You know where she is now?
I asked earlier, and they told me that she was at the same house. They had called and checked on her and told them that to keep her.
Do you know where she's at now?
No, but I took your word for it.
This
Well, let
lady,
me tell you,
absolute worst.
I can track you through this thing.
Do you want to tell me where my daughter is?
No, shut up.
Did
You
you
don't
lie to
care.
me about where my daughter is?
Your
Don't talk
daughter
about
is
lying.
safe.
Your daughter is
Where
safe
is my
and
daughter
sound.
at?
Your daughter is safe and just fine.
Where is she at?
You have a lot more.
She's a
work to do.
manipulator.
I want a lawyer. I want to know where my daughter is. I want to know what y'all done with my.
All of a sudden, you're worried about the daughter now. All of a sudden, you should have thought about that before you killed her daddy. You should have thought about that. Now you want to care. You trying to make that the focal point. Stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Your daughter is being taken care of by family members. It's either family members or she goes to CPS.
And
we
what
didn't
about
feel like
Christopher?
it's the same thing. He's going to be taken care of by family members or they have to go through CPS.
What family members? Who has him?
It don't
Who
matter.
has her?
It don't matter.
I don't know exactly who's got her.
I want to know who
Detective
has.
Grant.
I want to know who has my.
Grant.
I want to know who has my daughter.
Listen to me.
I don't want to talk anymore. I want a lawyer, and I want to know where my kids are. If y'all are going to treat me like that, that's fine.
If we're going to treat you like what?
The way you're acting.
How do you expect me to feel?
She a
How do you expect
gaslighter.
me to feel?
I've been talking
I've
to
been
you
up
through
here
this
for
whole
days
thing.
with you through this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Excuse me.
I can assure you that your kids are being cared for.
You've lied to me about where they are, who's got them.
Your daughter's at, they didn't know where your daughter was.
Then why didn't they just come right out and say that?
Because they didn't know. Don't shout.
Then they should have just said.
Why are you shouting at me?
Because y'all, you're
Have I
telling me that
Listen to me.
she's one place and she's someplace else, and you told me that you would call and see that she was all right.
I personally give your daughter to Judy.
This is supposed to be the good cop. This dude is supposed to be the reason. He's supposed to be the one that's going to get her settled in and make her feel comfortable so now she can give him answers. He gave her an answer. Now he going to want an answer from her. Watch what I tell you.
Been friends with
Judy.
Judy Dent, and your grandparents came down and have got her.
My grandparents? My grandparents are dead.
Her grandparents.
She doesn't have any grandparents.
Curtis's sister has got her. It was either that or CPS, and I decided that I didn't want your daughter to go to CPS.
Well, why didn't you tell me that when I asked you?
This is the first time you've asked me, Bob.
I asked earlier.
Did you ask me?
I asked when we were in Webster. Couldn't I call and tell them?
Did you ask me?
No, I asked him.
Right. I have taken
And
care.
he told
Okay.
me that
Barbara.
that he called the people she
Barbara.
was with and that she was with the same people that
Barbara,
was
you have
taken
been, you
care
and I
of.
have been talking for the last 3 days. I have looked after your daughter. I promise.
What about Christopher?
Christopher's the same thing. When he gets in tonight at 7:30, they are going to page me. He's going to be brought to the station, and then Curtis's brother and Judy and Lori are coming here to pick him up and take him to Friendswood. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? You need to think about this. You just asked there, you want an attorney. Now, do you want to talk to me or not? If you do, we're going to sit and we're going to talk, just you and me.
See,
These other two aren't
told you.
coming back in because obviously y'all ain't getting along. You and I have talked for the last 3 days, Barbara, and I trusted you. And it's
I
time.
did not do it.
Good cop, bad cop. You did it.
Barbara, listen to me.
Why'd you come back in,
Listen
bro?
to me. We're not going to talk anymore today. Okay? We've got a statement from Mark. We have corroborating evidence. We're going to take you back to the back. If you want to talk to us, that's fine. You can talk to Marty. And you can talk with him in the morning. Or any time that you say that you want to talk to him. But we're through talking for today, unless you decide otherwise. And if you do, you can call the dispatcher and tell them you want to talk to him. But right now, we're through. We're going to go put you up. We'll check on you in the morning. If you want to talk to him, then you can.
And when am I getting a lawyer?
It's up to you.
I want a lawyer now.
No, that's fine.
You get
It's up to
one?
you.
That's fine.
Hold on just a second. Have a seat. We'll be back with you in just a second.
In the end, Barbara was charged with capital murder. The evidence against her was strong, but to ensure a conviction, prosecution offered Johnny Lopez a deal. In exchange for his testimony against his other two co-defendants, he would receive 40 years in prison. Mark and Barbara would both be found guilty, and they both received life in prison. What are your thoughts on this case?
Let me tell you something. That's kind of messed up, but it's also dumb on Mark's behalf. Mark, bro, you should have been smarter than that. I don't care what kind of mental hospital y'all two were in together. That ain't no excuse, bro. You got caught up in her BS because you liked her and y'all was having a little sex or whatever y'all was doing, and she offered you $50,000. You probably had to split that with the little 16, 17-year-old kid. So you probably got $25,000 and you got her. I don't think she worth 2 nickels at all. She ain't worth it. And you just done crash out and mess your life up. Now you doing life because of her. Because of her. Very average. She was mid, bro. She was mid. Can't make this up, man. Niggas will do anything for the poontang. Cannot make this up. Don't be video though, man. Y'all be cool how y'all be cool. Be smooth how y'all be smooth. Peace.